Good morning slash good evening, everyone. Here it is. It's a little after 9 o'clock here Eastern Time on Thursday night. And I just spent the last 20 minutes watching the man who has the audacity to call himself the leader of the free world spend his time lecturing, insulting, and yelling at us. It was funny watching his speech because, as typical for a politician, if his mouth is moving, he's lying. I know most of you don't have the stomach to sit through this, so I am the guinea pig and I put myself up to it. I'm going to show you a few clips in here, interspliced with some commentary from me. But this was about the most divisive speech I have ever heard from anyone. And remember, this is the guy who wanted to call himself the great uniter, right? Biden started off his speech going over the Declaration of Independence and quoting "we the people" a couple of times. What he fails to grasp in those three words is the punctuation. There's a comma in there that he doesn't seem to take heed of. The way that is written is "we the people," meaning you and me, not him. Okay? Means all of us, not just his little crowd. Okay? He spent the entire speech talking about "we the people" and not "we the people." Okay? He mentioned early on the mission of his presidency was to increase the prosperity, the freedom, and the justness of the United States. Joe, on that one, if I could give you a G, I would, but there is no grade lower than an F. Okay? I wouldn't necessarily call the nation prosperous by any means. You certainly have failed on that. Free? No, I don't think we can go there either. Let's just ask, Donald Trump and how that raid went in Mar-a-Lago the other day and how free he felt when you pulled that stunt. Okay? Just? Really? Let's talk about all the just causes that have happened. All the police officers who got killed because you handcuffed them. All the babies that have died because of your policies. Just? No.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
So, all those voters, 70 some odd million plus of them, are now extremists. You heard it straight from his mouth. Donald Trump and all the MAGA Republicans represent extremism. So, according to the man who has decided that he's going to unify the country, and he talks about that in this speech, the easiest way to do it is to say 70 some odd million people are terrorists.
Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans.
On this comment, I'm going to agree with Joe. Not every Republican's a MAGA Republican. The other ones are rhinos. I don't know, pick one. Mitch McConnell would be kind of the cheerleader for him. Yeah, the ones that aren't MAGA Republicans aren't Republicans at all.
But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans.
How are the MAGA Republicans a threat to this country? The fact that they want to be left to live their lives without government interference, they want to be left alone. I don't seem to see any massive violent protests going on from MAGA Republicans.
But I'm an American president, not a president of red America, blue America, but of all America. And I believe it's my duty to level with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful.
So it's your duty to tell the truth, huh, Joe? So please, I'd love to hear the truth. Would you please tell me why we bailed out of Afghanistan before rescuing all our soldiers? Would you care to tell me about the details of Hunter Biden's dealings with Ukraine and China that you claim you had nothing to know about, but video proves otherwise? Those are just a couple examples, but tell the truth, please continue.
And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
Like most people, this comment had me jump out of my seat and want to literally throw my computer across the room. Do not respect the Constitution. Joe, you might want to look in the mirror, or at least count to 2. Okay? Take a look at what the Second Amendment says. Take a look at what the First Amendment says. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, okay? Right to assemble, you won't let anybody do that, or your minions won't let anybody do that. That's the First Amendment to the Constitution. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Gee, you're tearing that one apart. How about the Fourth Amendment, Joe? You're tearing that one apart. You say that the MAGA Republicans don't respect the Constitution? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it your boss that said the Constitution is just a piece of paper?
They promote authoritarian leaders, and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
Promoting authoritarianism, Joe? Yeah, you might want to look in the mirror for that one. That's kind of exactly what you're doing. Your policy is you agree with me or you don't belong here. May I remind you of the quotes? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If you don't support me, you ain't American. Joe, both those quotes came out of your mouth. Okay? You talk about fanning the flames of political violence. Anybody remember this tweet? If you're able to, chip in now to the MN Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Yeah, political violence, and your vice president is paying the bail for them. Oh yeah, one of them got charged with murder a couple of days ago.
They look at the mob that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement.
The mob that attacked the Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement. Yeah, let me see if I remember this one correctly. There was one death, and that would be Ashley Babbitt, who was killed by law enforcement. There were absolutely 0 law enforcement deaths and 0 law enforcement injuries. The people that got arrested, never charged, were for putting their feet up on a desk, for taking some things out of office. Okay, that's theft. I'll give you that one. Violent mobs, huh, Joe? Yeah. Oh my God, if I put my feet up, that must make me violent. But ask Ashley Babbitt's family how the violence went from the police toward the peaceful protesters.
To be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
Yes, Joe, we do want to be a nation of hope and optimism. Unity's out the window. You've taken care of that. But as for the fear, that stuff, okay, we'll be a nation of hope and optimism again, as soon as we get rid of every single person in your party, because the party of fear, destruction, and whatever else is the Democrats. The hope and optimism is certainly the conservative wing of the GOP, the constitutionalist wing of the GOP.
This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it.
Yes, Joe, like I said before, this is a nation that honors its Constitution, and we don't reject it. We, the people, don't reject it. You have a tendency to reject every aspect of the Constitution, and that's why your butt and your party's butt, or political career, is soon to be over.
We are still, at our core, a democracy.
No, Joe, we are still at our core a constitutional republic. You think after being 79 years on this planet and 50 years in Washington, you'd have realized the form of government that we have by now.
For a long time, we've told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it.
Yes, Joe, you're correct. American democracy is not guaranteed. We do have to fight for it. We do have to protect it. And that is why me and everybody else on this team is going to fight tooth and nail against you to protect our way of life and not let you destroy it like you are so hell-bent to do.
Simple. There is no place for political violence in America, period. None, ever.
I absolutely agree with you. There is no place for political violence. So please tell me, when is Antifa going to get labeled as a terrorist organization and you're going to start arresting them? When is BLM going to get arrested and labeled as a terrorist organization? As for the political violence, maybe you want to ask, Steve Scalise or Rand Paul about the political violence they've faced. But boy, I sure can't think of a Democrat who's ever even been slightly injured, other than, of course, AOC going, "I was in fear for my life," while I was a half a mile away.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Predicting? Okay. I'll give you that one. Lindsey Graham was absolutely correct where he said if you indict Trump, there's going to be riots in the streets, because that tells us right there that the justice system is completely corrupt. Okay. As for calling for, Joe, please name names, because you seem to be the only one, not even your lapdog media knows the names of these supposed Republicans who are calling for political violence. Please enlighten us, Joe.
Country. But democracy endures only if we, the people, respect the guardrails of the republic. Only if we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections.
Our democracy endures, yes, Joe. Boy, and I, questioning the outcome of a election.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should. But Jane, it was like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. And so I know that he knows that this wasn't a...
I seem to remember 4 years of Russia, Russia, Russia. Only if, huh, Joe?
You can't love your country only when you win.
Really, Joe? You can't love your country only when you win, huh? Who was it that said, "For the first time in my life, I'm proud of my country"?
MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair.
Yes, Joe, we do only see carnage and darkness and despair. Carnage, the aforementioned soldiers in Afghanistan. The darkness. Oh, those great electric bills that, thanks to your policies, we've got coming on. Despair? That would be all the people homeless or the people hungry. What do they all have in common? I don't know. Your presidency? Yeah, that's why that's what we see. It's all because of you, Joe.
I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of this nation.
Yes, Joe, we are in a battle for the soul of this nation. If you only had a soul, maybe you'd know what it was. But considering you sold yours long ago, we'll stick with ours. Because the future of this country is this way, not your way.
Americans, America is an idea, the most powerful idea in the history of the world, and it beats in the hearts of the people of this country.
Yes, Joe, America is an idea. It's probably the greatest idea mankind's ever known. It was put together 260 years ago by a bunch of men who were a whole hell of a lot smarter than you. We're going to go back in the past, as you put it, and live by the laws of the land that they wrote in 1776. As for the laws that you want to write in 2022, they ain't happening. Ever. We will fight tooth and nail to destroy every communist ideal you have. Face it, Joe, the future of this country is MAGA. While we all want to make America great again, you want to make America China again. Pinball out.